Good evening, boys and girls. It's me, Pretty Bird. Man, have I got a story tonight. There's something that's just like me in it.
Another quail bird?
No, that's what the Israelites were eating, and I don't want to talk about them. No, there's a talking animal.
Seriously?
Yeah,
There's a talking animal in the story tonight.
yeah. It's a donkey. Yeah. Some people call them little mules, but I call them a donkey. But there's another word, but I'm not going to use it.
Okay, whatever. How do we get to the talking animal?
Well, okay, just remember now, the Israelites are wandering around in the promised land, and God already told them, you're not going to get to see it, you old folks. It's going to be your kids and grandkids that would get to go and see the promised land.
Because why?
They kept disobeying, whatever.
So what happened then?
Well, during this long time, Moses still kept on trying with them and hung out with them, and he should have just thrown in the towel and said, you know what, enough is enough. But he didn't.
Okay, and then what happened?
Well, see, they were ready to go look at the Canaanites' land, but the kids grew up and they had trained. They were trainers.
For what?
War. They were training to go in and take over the land.
Okay, and then what happened?
Well, okay, about these Edomites.
What about them?
They came from Esau's family,
Mm-hmm.
and they wouldn't let them. They wouldn't let them go through their land.
Why?
They went all around the edge
Why?
because they didn't want to fight them. They were like relatives.
Oh, okay.
So remember, Esau was Jacob's twin brother, and all the Israelites were from Jacob's family. So that's what they did. They went around.
Well, that was sweet.
But when the Amorites, oh, they would not let them pass through their land. And the Israelites fought them, and they won their first battle. Chalk up 1 for the Israelites.
Is that your scoreboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
They killed the king and everything, and later they won a battle with some other people too.
Uh-huh. And what else?
Well, they were building up their confidence. And after this, the news began to travel. You know how news travels. Yeah. Tough team. Oh, man, we're going to get beat.
So, what happened then?
Well, they had God with them and everything. And then there was this king of the Moabites. He saw that they were going to try to pass through his land next. So he knew. Put up the guard.
And then what happened?
He was afraid to fight them. So he sent out this prophet named Balaam. And he was going to go and put a curse on them.
Like what?
Like a hex. Like abracadabra, all your arrows don't fly. Like that.
Oh, okay.
So he was going to make them weak. And when the king's messenger found Balaam, he told him that they would have to spend the night with him. And that he thought about King Balak's problem. And during the night, God appeared to Balaam. And he told him.
What did he tell him?
That the Israelites were his people. And for Balaam not to curse them. And that morning, when Balaam sent the messengers back to the king, Balak, there's a lot of B names in this.
I know there is.
Well, this was the message. I cannot curse the people. The Lord has blessed them. So the king heard what his little messenger, prophet, what he would not come and curse them. So he sent some more messengers to him. And these were even more important. He sent princes and noblemen. He sent the big guys.
Really?
Yeah, the heavies. He sent them. And they were supposed to tell him to do it again. You know, you better try harder. And by the way, here's some presents. I like presents.
I know you like presents. Yeah.
Now, I don't have a birthday, but I like presents. Just any day would be good. Tomorrow would be fine.
Just keep talking.
Well, they urged Balaam to take the gifts and come with them back to the king. But Balaam did not really love God, and he wanted to take the presents and go with them, but he knew God was more powerful. So he said it would not matter if the king gave him a palace full of silver and gold. If God does not want me to curse these people, I cannot do it. Smart dude.
Mm-hmm.
He knew the captain of the team.
What?
Boy.
Oh, okay.
Then he asked them to stay all night while he asked once more if he could go. And this time God agreed. He could go with the princes if he would be careful to do only what God asked him. So, the next morning, saddle up, baby. Hi-ho, hi-ho. It's off to work we go. That's from a movie.
That's not from the book of the Bible, though.
Okay, so they saddled up their donkeys and two servants, and they rode away with the messengers. Now, on this way is when it gets really interesting.
Thank you for explaining that. And by the way, you need to brush your teeth.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. It was a very delicious lunch.
Okay. Keep reading.
And there's an angel of the Lord with a sword in his hand, and he appeared right in front of the donkey, and guess what? Donkeys don't like to be surprised. No. He was frightened, and he ran off the road and all the way up across the field. Could you imagine that? Yeah, like that. And he finally stopped. And Balaam was like, what happened? And then this is, it happened again in a vineyard where they were like vines on the left and vines on the right, and he couldn't stop, see? He kind of leaned up against one side of the wall because he saw the angel again.
Who did?
The donkey. The donkey saw it. And then he stood at a very skinny place in the road.
What did?
Pay attention. The angel stood. The one with the sword.
Sword.
I'll give up if you give up.
I give up, but it's still sword.
Okay, fine, sword. And there was no room for the donkey to run away. So guess what?
What?
He collapsed.
Well, was he being ridden still?
Yeah. He just kind of took a squat right there in the road.
And then what was wrong?
Well, this is when the talking starts.
Okay, so how did he start talking?
Well, he said, like, hello, I'm so glad to meet you. No, not like that. He just started talking, and he asked the guy, he says, what have I ever done to make you beat on me? Quit beating on me. And then Balaam was like, I'd like to take a sword and probably kill you right now because you've been smashing me and running through the woods. Field. And stuff, and he was very mad. But the donkey says, have you not been riding me for a long time? And have I ever done this before? Of course, it's amazing the donkey was talking at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy says, no. So now he's talking back to the donkey. Boy, doesn't he look like an idiot?
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
He said, no, you've never done this before. And then he looked up and he saw the angel with the sword. Weapon. And he bowed down in front of the angel and said that he had not seen it before, and he offered, he said, I will go back. If the Lord did not want me to go to see the king, I'll go back. But the angel said, no, go ahead. But remember not to say anything except what God tells you. Talk about putting words in your mouth.
Yeah, I kind of know how that feels a lot.
She's talking about me because she thinks I'm a puppet. I got news for her. I'm a free agent.
Just keep reading then, free agent.
Well, when Balaam, I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
When Balaam reached the king, Balak, they took him to a high mountain, and they built out, and they looked, and they could see out to the Israelites. And that's when Balaam was like, and he opened his mouth, and he only said what God wanted him to say.
Oh. And how many times did he try?
Oh, like 3 times. He tried to blah, 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 and only out would come what God wanted him to say.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
Well, Balak, the king, was not very happy about that. He was like, I want you to curse the army. And he was like, I cannot give you the presents unless you curse them. And Balaam was at that point like, keep them, dude, keep them. And so he had to think of a way that he could help the king Balak think of another way to harm the Israelites. And together they planned to make the Israelites bow down to idols. Well, that's not too hard. They made a calf all by themselves about 3 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
And was not that a terrible thing for Balaam to do?
Yeah.
He hit them at their weak spot.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew that God of the Israelites was the only true God, but they did it anyway. And then God punished him for it later. Serves him right. But he punished him.
How?
By letting him be killed when the Israelites finally fought against the Moabites. So, I'm just saying, beware of talking donkeys.
And birds. Sorry.
And surely, Balaam would have been better off if he had just followed his animal home instead of ever going to see the king. Whoa, man, that's a fast one.
It was a long one.
Yeah, but anyway, follow directions, especially if you know it in the Bible.
Okay.
Now, kiddies, I want to say, pull up the covers, do some snuggling down, and dream about birdies, not talking donkeys.